Crash Bandicoot was basically the mascot for the Sony PlayStation, so it was surreal when he started showing up on other consoles. Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure was one of his outings for the Game Boy Advance, and was an interesting example of how the Crash Bandicoot gameplay had a bit of substance underneath all the flash. Obviously, the trademark 3D gameplay and highly animated polygon-based graphics were not going to make it in the transition to the weaker hardware. However, they did a good job of transferring the spirit of the console games into this version. The pre-rendered sprites are colourful and well animated, especially Crash himself. All of the backgrounds are similarly nice to look at. One major positive is that it's really easy to keep track of the action on the screen. Many handheld games with pre-rendered graphics were overly complicated and messy looking, whereas Crash looks clean throughout. There are even some nifty effects, such as when the game uses some graphical trickery to mimic the running into the screen segments of the console versions. The music is catchy, and the presentation as a whole is very good, particularly for a Game Boy Advance title. The other highlight is the tight gameplay. As in the original games, Crash controls quite differently to other platforming mascots like Mario and Sonic. He runs at a fairly consistent pace, and seems to have some real weight behind his movements. The physics of the game mimic those of the 3D original fairly closely. If there was one thing that E3 taught us this year, it's that people seemingly can't get enough of Crash. This is definitely a good little game to pick up on the cheap. It's not the most complicated game ever made, and it won't hold your interest for as long as its bigger brothers on the console. However, as a cute little distraction, you could do a hell of a lot worse.